Hi everyone, this is Shree's in a Circle. Once again, I'm very happy to have you on my channel, and I feel inspired to talk about um, letting divine guidance support you and how to make that happen. Hello, says Muffin. So it's simple, really. It's really simple. For me, I take a child's play around spirituality. I've been guided by dreams, and the analytical mind can always say it's just a dream. But for me, listen to my heart, and I explore deeper. So when I started getting dreams about Shiva and Ganesha and seeing temples and seeing Buddhas, I explored deeper into what that meant for me. And the word that comes, it's really about the Akashic Records. And each and every one of us have connections with our past lives, and the work that we have done, the spiritual work that we have done before this existence, this lifetime. And Muffin really wants to be part of this recording. Hi, Muffin. Yes. You've been part of my life too before in past lives, Muffin. So I allowed myself to be inspired by the gods. And so that's how I let Shiva into my life and Ganesha. And then seeing the beautiful cathedral that happens to be in Cologne, I felt the connection with Christ consciousness, with compassion, and how God is great. So there's not much thinking behind it. It's just tapping into your inner child and having the spirit of play in which you look at spirituality, not a very serious matter that has to be dissected and analyzed and be logical, but really just allowing yourself to be inspired. So recently, I mean, on the trip to Germany, I also went to Mulhouse in France, and I found in the shop this pendant, and it was really calling out to me. So it was really loud. It's like, get me, and just show it to you. So it's a symbol that I didn't know what it meant, and the shop lady did not know what it meant, but I knew it meant something, and so I picked it up. The same way as I picked up the two owls in Mulhouse as well. The owls, later I found out, were the symbols of goddess Athena, and which then connected to the dots of how I had the dream of Greece and the ancient Greek buildings and temples. So perhaps I lived in Greece in my past life. One never knows, but I take it that feeling inspired by the owls, and the owls being the representative of goddess Athena, felt like to me a message from the higher forces, from the divine, that I need to work with goddess Athena. I need to work with wisdom and to guide me in my path. So again, it's just picking up signs and symbols that you see in your day-to-day, letting yourself be inspired, because see, the way the divinity, the way the divine, the spirits, the gods, they work through you is that they whisper to you, right? So if your logical brain is so thick, well, it's just going to go past you and you will not even capture or sense it. You don't want the gods to be knocking you over, right? For you to realize or have a, touch wood, something like you conk out of consciousness and then you wake up and then you realize. I mean, that's really extreme, but develop that sense of sensitivity and childlike playfulness in the way you allow the divinity to work through you, because they are all guides. And I believe that there's no one particular spirit guide. I mean, I work a lot and I meditate a lot of deep reverence for Lord Buddha, and then Shiva came along. And then at one point Ganesha was very much present. Then I start seeing the Greek mythology, the Greek temples, and now I see Goddess Athena that I would have never, ever, ever researched on, looked up. It was only because I picked up these signs and symbols. And so I definitely am a believer that there are a plethora of gods and goddesses and protectors and higher beings and light beings, light angels out there in the galaxy, that is working through us, that wants to help us and support us. And it's not just one particular spirit god, or I think it really depends on at what point in time are you right now in your life, and you feel that connection with that particular god or goddess. So coming back again to the pendant, very recently, just before I went to Germany and Switzerland, I have been walking a lot in nature and noticing signs and symbols. You know, very, very basic signs like, you know, hexagonal signs, shapes on trees, in the star constellations, the formations. And they looked a lot like symbols, like language to me. And I didn't know what it meant, but I do draw them out. There were spirals, there were, you know, and I didn't know what that meant until I found this pendant, and I couldn't get an answer from the shopkeeper or from Google because I didn't know what I was looking for. And then I went to the crystal shop to get a crystal for my friend, and I looked at the lady, the girl who was working in the crystal shop, and she looked like she knew what she was doing. So I said, "Hey, do you know what this symbol meant?" And she knew instantly. She said, "This is a Viking rune. It's a Nordic rune, and it means Gibo and Wunjo." So it's two characters from the first act of the Nordic runes of Freya, the goddess enchantress of magic and divinity and beauty. And I didn't know all that until she told me, and then I was like, whoa, that, and it means the giver of joy. How beautiful is that? And at the back of the amulet, it's inscribed beloved, love, aimer in French, which means to love. And so many dots joined for me as well, because one, I always felt a connection to the Nordic culture. And I suppose within me, there's also that ancestry of my lineage, having also been to Finland and Sweden when I was younger, and I felt this huge affinity to the space, to the woods, to the Nordic culture. And so this felt like an initiation process. And so I created my first runes. I bought the book on how to, you know, all about runes and what they mean, and the symbols are exactly what I found on the trees and star constellations, that finally I got the answer. But that's also because I have this kind of like playful way in which I let myself be inspired, and I see these symbols, and now I know like they're the runes, the Nordic language of the gods, of Odin, of Freya, of Tyr, of Hemanda, who was speaking through me. And I just feel like immensely grateful that I now have this new set of language and codes with which I can work with spiritually to guide me, and I feel really powerful. And the message I just have is that I'm powerful, and I'm guided by humility, and I'm humble to let the gods work through me and be a channel to guide me on my path to love and light, to be the giver of joy, you know. And I think that's where we really start to tap into our Akashic records, our Akash, which I might have been doing this in my past lifetimes, but I've just simply forgotten. But when you are open and you have this childlike way of going through life and letting yourself be inspired, you will find friends and people along the way who will then show you what these mean. It takes time. I have to be patient, but now I know what these symbols mean, right? And I have now a book, and now the whole world of Norse codes and runes are now open to me, which is fascinating. It's really fascinating. And that's how we learn all this intelligence and wisdom. And Goddess Athena, being the goddess of wisdom, is there helping me. And so I feel really guided. And also back to the story of Esme and Giver of Joy. I always feel like, if I were to have another baby, which I'm not sure if I'm going to have one, but I'm 45 years old now, she would be a girl. And I always have this name for her. It'll be Esme Akasha. And Esme, I found out later, means beloved. And and another word is also Eme, which is to love. Esmeralda, Eme, Esme. And look what it's written. It's written Eme. So Esme is from, I always feel like when I look in the stars, I feel like there is this soul, this beautiful girl, child, spirit that wants to incarnate through me. I know I'm just speaking out loud, but I don't ever know if I'm going to get pregnant again, which I already have 3 kids. But Esme is sort of like the God spirit child. Maybe I will create something. There will be a creation that I will give birth to, not necessarily a child, a human being, a life form. But Akasha, which is her middle name, and I also found out Akasha means spirit, our Akashic Records, which is also the 5th element of this universe, and Mother Goddess, the flower of life. And Akasha also means from the stars and sky. And so, yeah, I always see her, in the stars and in the sky. And Shri means goddess, right? And so everything is sort of weaving into place, from Hindu mythology, from the Hindu gods to the goddess, the Greek mythology to the Norse. And I feel like although we can simplify and say all this is one and same, it is all one and same because it's all the language of love, all the language of the universe, and the multifaceted languages of the universe that speaks through God, light, love, but expressed in different channels in different ways for us to understand in our different timelines and our different paths in our lifetime. And through, of course, different cultures and different lands. But it's all very fascinating. So if you are, like me, and you're working and walking, not working, walking and playing along the path of spirituality and consciousness, is just to allow yourself to be inspired and to keep your heart and your third eye open, right? And be curious and inquisitive like a child. And you know what? God is whispering to you, right? The mystical is whispering to you at every moment. They want to guide you. They want to help you. So tap in and let yourself be inspired and let yourself be a channel of light and love. And with that, I wish you a beautiful day wherever you are. So much greetings, so much love from me, Shrees in a Circle, to you. Plenty of blessings. Namaste. Bye.